Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Be very welcome for the April's edition of our Above and Beyond Community Hangout. It's an organization by Startup Portugal and is happening in Lisbon, here at Ferroviário, and in Porto, in a partnership with Porto's municipality and UP Tech. So we are live and we are also streaming the event as usually. And I'm happy to see full houses despite of the nice summer weather outside. So again, be very welcome and thank you for your presence. Well, today we want to welcome also our investor partner for this session, Portugal Ventures. It's one of the most important Portuguese venture capital investors with a huge portfolio of startups and scale-ups, very well known in Portugal and internationally. So if you want to talk to them, please look for people from their team. They are here. Rui Ferreira, the president of Portugal Ventures, is here with us in Lisbon. We have Teresa Fiuza from the board of Portugal Ventures in Oporto and a lot of other team members. So let me ask you a round of applause to our partner investors, Portugal Ventures, from this today's session. Thank you for your support, Rui, and very welcome. And I wish you a good networking talks throughout today's session. Before starting our discussion, I would like to remind you of some initiatives developed by Startup Portugal recently, and I think it's good to take into account that we are doing some interesting things for promoting the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Portugal and abroad. So next week, we'll have 25 Portuguese startups representing Portugal in Web Summit Rio. It's an important delegation of Portuguese talent and business, of startups that already, some of them are already in a good development stage. They are already pre-scale-ups, so they have already made their path and growth, and they are very interested in the Brazilian market. So we'll have this important delegation supported by Startup Portugal. Of these 25, we will have 14 that are directly supported by us in order to be able to make exhibition, a proper exhibition at the summit, at the Web Summit Rio. And it will be a great opportunity to connect with the local ecosystem. We'll have some interesting events there in Brazil, in Rio, trying to make them aware of the important business and talent that we have in Portugal. We will also have an objective to bring some Brazilian investment to Portugal and Brazilian talent, because the fight for talent, as you know, in Europe is growing. So we need to welcome also talent from abroad, and Brazil is growing in that chapter. So it's important to take this into account and be aware of the results. We'll also be, in the next month, until the end of June, we'll go to Spain to South Summit. We'll have also a delegation of Portuguese startups pitching there. We'll go to Vivatech in France, and we'll go to Canada, to Collision, also taking Portuguese startups abroad and making them connect with local ecosystem and stakeholders. So be aware, stay tuned to know more about the Portuguese delegations through our newsletter, Startup Portugal newsletter, and social media. The second point I'd like to point to call your attention to in this beginning is that since our last hangout last month, we have launched together with EEFP, Instituto do Emprego e de Formação Profissional, an important program to support Portuguese talent registered at this employment agency, this public employment agency that want to start their own business. And it's a record program in terms of capacity of investment and size. The name is Empreende 21. And I think that you should be very aware of the interesting capabilities that this program has. It can finance up to 85% of business plans, including a CapEx investment of until 200,000 euros. So it's a really interesting package of support. Well, and now for today's topic. We'll talk about matching between startups and industrial corporates. It's an interesting topic because Portugal is traditionally a country of industry. And if we look to Portugal on the last 20, 30 years, we can see that we have been strongly recognized internationally for industry into several areas and clusters that have grown and have been recognized abroad into several ways. Well, this industry is developing and it's upgrading, and Industry 4.0, it's really a challenge to them all. And now we can see that this is not an option. This is mandatory to big industry. And what better way to develop capabilities, to bring innovation in, and to get more technological than connecting with startups and with entrepreneurs that are used to trial and fail, and that are used to bring new ideas and test them and argue about them and prove to the market that these ideas have a way of winning. And in this connection between traditional industry and startups, we still have some challenges in Portugal to face. So I think this connection is strategic. It's an important part of our strategic plan at Startup Portugal. We have been doing programs of matching corporates and startups for some time, and we want to do it even more and to call your attention to these opportunities. Let me tell you that the opportunities generated by Industry 4.0 are sized on more than $110 billion all over the world currently, and this number will more than double until 2026, growing at a rate of more than 16.5% a year. So this is an opportunity area for entrepreneurs to invest, and it's an opportunity also for large corporates and industrial corporates to see the dynamics of these entrepreneurs and to bring these dynamics in and try to see how can they do better if they incorporate a vision from outside and a new energy coming from who is willing to challenge all and to risk all in order to make their point. So I think it's really an opportunity. According also to a global industry analyst study, the demand for more efficient, profitable, and sustainable manufacturing processes has led to increased investment in areas like IoT solutions, automation systems, and 3D printing. So these are areas where either corporates and startups are investing and can be part of the future of industry and on the future of factories in Portugal and abroad. I would like to wish you a very good session. Please take the opportunity to connect and to talk with your neighbor in the share close to you, or after the panel and after the presentations upstairs or in the bar with a drink. So I wish you a good session for today's Hangout, and I will pass on to Nuno Moreno, who will present you the pitching sessions and the panel that we have here for you today. So thank you very much and enjoy.
Thank you very much, Antonio. I'm very excited. Today we have three really interesting startups. As you may have guessed, all these startups are developing solutions that one way or the other are connected with the industry, and they are creating new solutions to help many of these traditional industries to develop and to create better results. And without further delay, our first speech will be from Porto. I would like to call to the stage André Godinho Luz, CEO of Infinite Foundry, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. The pitch slides are. We're just waiting for the slides. If they don't come up, I can. Oh, perfect. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is André Luz. I am the CEO and the founder of Infinite Foundry. Infinite Foundry is a Portuguese and Porto-based company, 6 years old. And we have been basically developing an industrial metaverse platform for operations management in industry. All the pictures that you see here are real implementations of current operations that exist in our customers. Why we have developed this technology? Industry faces a lot of challenges. They come from supply chain disruptions. They come from pressures to be more sustainable. It comes from lack of workforce availability. So there is basically a fundamental need for you to be able to change the way you do the operation. It's not just enough for you to get warnings about some problems. You have to actually fundamentally change the way you do the operation so that you can solve all of these challenges. And for you to be able to make those changes, you need deep understanding of production. You need to understand why a welding is not behaving as it should, why a sheet metal is not bending as it should. So you need to know this high level of detail. That's why we go in depth using our technology. It basically has two main features. The digital twin is the big picture that you see here. Is a 3D real-time integrated environment. Basically means what? Means that the movements that I'm doing here are replicated in real time in our computer. So I have an easy access to everything that happens in the facility. Automatic operations, manual operations, logistics operations, movement of objects, no matter. You just have an exact replica in real time. And why we do this? Because we want to have full traceability. We want to understand everything. We want to understand why the welding is not happening properly. We want to understand why the bending here in this object is not happening as it should. So the other tool is exactly that, is the virtual sensor. Virtual sensor basically means that by calculation, we in real time get parameters that are important to understand the efficiency of the process. In this example, I show that you have two physical sensors that are not in the area of action. So the area of action is the mold on the blue rectangle. And that area you cannot have sensors because it's physically impossible to just fit sensors inside of the mold. You just have what we call indirect sensors. They give you a more or less understanding what is happening, but they don't give you the exact understanding of the reality. So what we do by calculation, using 3D calculation in real time, we give you the highest probable cause of what is happening there. And this happens for everything. Can be high speed, high pressure, high temperature. So any kind of environment where the process is not fully understood, it's difficult for you to have. We use this virtual sensor to have this exact understanding. Why we call it metaverse? Because you have to bear in mind that this sheet metal is not manufactured by the company that is bending it. It's manufactured by someone else. So you need connectivity through the supply chain. You need, like in this case, if you manufacture this ball is going to be sent to someone else, it's going to assemble. We need to understand if the ball is correctly bended or not. So there is here a connection through the supply chain of knowledge that you should have. And that is the objective of our technologies, sharing knowledge from everyone so that you can be highly efficient in your process. I'm just going to skip a few slides because I don't have much time, but just to give you an idea of how the software works. It works on a base of low-code components. So you have components like machines, you have components like worker tasks, you have components like layout. So you just have components like Lego, pieces of Lego, and then just join them together according to what the operation you have. And that is how we can cover the entire operation. Here, maybe a lot of you that don't know industry don't know these terms, but basically in industry, you have two types of software. The management, which are the ones that tell you, I want to produce today this, and then you have the implementation, which are the ones that tell you how the robot is going to move to produce that. We sandwich our software in between. So we know what you want to produce, and we determine what is the optimum way of producing it, and we are always looking to variations. And through those variations, we improve the coordination and the control. That is how we can keep the operation highly efficient. How we actually make money. As this technology is deeply integrated in the customer, we need to have a setup fee, which is basically, I need to connect this to the ERP system of the customer, to the robot. So there is a fee that where you have to connect all of this stuff. And that is what we charge. We usually charge per square meter. It's a complicated equation, but I just simplify to you. Then we have an annual maintenance fee because the operations are dynamic. So you always have a new machine. You always have a change in the layout. You always have a new product that requires you to keep the software always updated. And that's why the customer pays for that. And this is the big number. Because you go in depth to the knowledge, you can increase significantly the efficiency. Again, we are questioning everything. No, there is nothing there that we are not questioning, so that we can find the optimal and most efficient way. Antonio already mentioned this is a very big market, so I'm not going to waste time here. So here are some of the numbers of the breakdown. So we, as I was mentioning to you, we work on everything from maintenance to quality to workers. Again, we question everything. That's why we can go that high efficiency level, because we go to all things that affect the efficiency of a company. The company was founded by myself and Bruno. Both of us, we had more than 15 years experience before starting the company in the industry. And then we brought together a team of technical people from very different backgrounds, from physics, AI, animation. So there is here huge joining of different backgrounds. Automotive sector is still our biggest sector, represents around 2/3 of our revenue, now 60% of our revenue from last year. But we have other sectors, mining, energy, and so forth. Still large customers, so we are on customers that have at least usually 100 million revenue up. So it's still not a technology for the SMEs. We are working on that part as we speak. So basically our technology is all about, now that we work very well in factories, we are again having this metaverse part. So this supply chain integration, that's what we are working. And for that, as always, you are fundraising. We now have submitted an EIC accelerator project, but of course we're open to other alternatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Really nice speech. And now from Lisbon, we'll have Fractal Mind, and the pitch will be made by Manuel Pimenta, CXO and Human Experience Sherpa. You should explain that to us as well, but thank you very much.
Is it? Yeah, okay. So hi everyone, just while the slides come up. My name is Manuel. I'm CXO, so Chief Experience Officer, or Human Experience Sherpa, because we like to call ourselves some silly names, and you'll understand why. So I'm here to tell you how we are superpowering employee experience. So we are talking about industry, and the previous pitch talks about how we can improve the production side. We are focusing on the human side of the experience. Okay, so there is a global engagement crisis. We are pretty well aware of that. Most of the employees nowadays are not engaged with the work that they are doing because of the pandemic. And not only that, they are not thriving in their day-to-day activities. A third of them now are anxious because the ghost of automation is coming and they are worried about their jobs. And so this has a real impact on productivity, of course. And because it impacts productivity, it impacts the bottom line of companies. So we have a global production, global impact on the economy because the production is less than what it should be. And so we are taking our know-how. Fractal Mind was founded in 2016. Since then, we have been building a gamification platform. And now we have come up with a solution that takes the operational KPIs. So all of the production KPIs from the factory floor, for example, or from a contact center. We take that information and we transform it in into an experience that feels like a superhero journey, okay? And this, of course, as you might guess, this boosts motivational levels. Everybody feels better about the work that they are doing, and it has a real impact on productivity. How do we do that? So we've been building, as I said, a gamification platform. We have a set of pre-built mechanics that we can apply to the operational KPIs. So basically, operational KPIs come in, we apply some gamification magic, and we can have an impact both balancing extrinsic rewards, so focusing on the short term, what's in it for me, basically, and on the long-term engagement. So we can create a narrative, we can create a visually rich experience, and they feel much more involved with what they are doing. Not only that, but the process of building this, we normally involve all of the employees, so they feel that this is their own product, their own idea, despite us already having the solution pre-built, okay? And so what mechanics do we use? We have missions. So you have a specific operational KPI you want to focus on for the next 2 weeks. So we create a quest. That quest has a reward, that quest has a narrative. They have a superhero that represents their character, their avatar. And it's not them that are fulfilling the missions. It's the superhero that represents them. Okay, so that also creates a distance from the operation that helps them assess what they are doing, helps them reflect on what they are doing. We have the standard leaderboards, the badges, the contents and quizzes if you want to target some training aspects of the operation. And so we basically pick and choose the right mechanics that apply to each operational context. And we take those operational KPIs and supercharge them using these mechanics. Our end game is to go from recruitment to offboarding, okay? And what that means is that from the first moment that an employee gets in touch with the company, they're already entering a gamified experience. Does that always happen? Not really. A lot of the times we focus on performance because that's where companies, that's what impacts the bottom line more quickly. But our end game is to be part of the whole experience of the employee, okay? For that, we created a multidisciplinary team. We have a lot of experience in software development, gamification, marketing, in retail. And we are able to scale as needed with a pool of developers that we work with. And so we've been building this solution for the past years. And we've been building it for a lot of different clients in a lot of different domains. So we have some clients in the industry space. A lot of our challenges are focused on employee engagement, despite us having tackle other challenges, but we've worked with people like with companies like Mercedes, One, Vorten is probably still our biggest client, Altis. We have a big project scaling up now, and so a lot of what we're doing is how can we make their experience better through the power of games, okay? And this has a real impact on the company's bottom line. We've increased, in some cases, we've increased productivity by 50%, okay? Overall engagement with our platforms tends to be between the 70 and 90% engagement. What else? What other platforms can get 80 or 90% engagement from their employees? Not many. Okay, and this is what we've been building for the past few years. Normally as bespoke solutions, so each client has their specific solution. But for the past couple of years, we've been creating these more bottled up solutions that have quicker deployment times. And so when we get to a new client, just give us your operational KPIs. We either connect to the CRM, to Excel files, it happens. And then we generate the output in a superhero narrative way. Okay, and that's what we've been building. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.
Very much, Manuel, great pitch. I'm curious if Carla, if you tried the product, because Grupo Nabeiro was one of the, not yet. Okay, maybe Manuel, you can push that. Because that's what we are here as well. We invite startups also to provide them opportunities, but I will not take any more time. We are heading for the third and final pitch of the day. And I would like to call to the Porto stage, Joel Alves, business developer at Sentinel, please.
Hello. I'm missing the presentation. Okay. Oh, hello. I'm Joel Alves. I'm a co-founder and the business developer in Sentinel. Whoever have critical defects in your smartphone? Nobody, right? Do you know why? It's because there is an automatic inspection system in the smartphone factory. Sentinel works in this field. What is the problem here? Robotization growth. In the future, all of the factories will have a lot of robots. Robots need cameras to see around them. Other problem is the tech expert shortage. All of the world there is 3 more demand than supply. And other problem is the critical defects. In the future, this topic will be a really problem. Sentinel has the solution. We have a low-code software to transform technician rookies in experts. Sentinel software gets some big areas like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, automation, and build some high-tech solutions to inspect automatically in industrial serial production lines. What is our difference for others? We have a data-centric approach. We analyze a lot of data before we build solutions. We have simple tools to modeling and training our algorithms in our software. And we put simple solutions in the industrial shop floor. Our business model is to sell software license through our partners. And we manage some projects through our integrator partners to make some high-tech solutions in the industry. This market is huge. Right now, we are receiving a lot of challenge from different geographies and different industries. Our milestone plan, it was MVP to apply our product in small clients. And after this, we won some big clients. And right now we are looking for automation big companies to apply our technology. Our traction and validation, we are growing. From this year, we have $2.4 million in sales to execute, and we hope to reach $5 million in the next year. Why now? Why now this technology? Factory automation are growing. Artificial intelligence is more mature than ever, and cloud computing prices are failing. We are 3 co-founders, and we have a team of 11 elements. We are looking for investment to apply in technology, sales, and marketing. Thank you. We are Sentinel.
Thank you very much, Joel. Really nice speech. Congratulations on your numbers as well. And now we are moving to the main moment of this event here today. I will start calling the names here from Lisbon, and then I'll call the names from Porto. I think it will be easier that way. So first, I would like to call to the stage Carla Rodrigues, Head of Business Development at Delta Ventures, please.
Okay, thank you.
And now the second name to the stage, Mr. Luís Martins from Catarina, please. Chief Marketing Officer actually here. Yes. And now from Porto, I would like to call Mr. Francisco Almada Lobo, CEO of Critical Manufacturing. Thank you very much. And finally, a very special person, for the ones that don't know, Miss Catarina Violante was my first boss. It was the person that gave me the opportunity to start working with startups. So I'm very happy to call to the stage Catarina Violante, Chief VP of Operations at Smartex.ai, please. And Carlos, the stage is yours.
Okay, so I think this will be me. So thank you very much. I am the CEO of Critical Manufacturing, and I'd like to thank for the invitation of moderating this panel. I mean, I'm not sure the invitation was actually for me. I think the invitation was for Critical Manufacturing overall, but I couldn't resist being here because smart manufacturing is really something that I truly love, and so it's really a pleasure being here. What else? I'm used to participate a lot in some of these panels, but I'm usually on the other side. So if I start answering any questions and so on, please stop me, okay? Because that's not my role here today. All right, good. So we'll start with Porto. I think everything's going to be about Porto. We're just going to once in a while ask a few questions to Lisbon. No, I'm kidding. But maybe I'll start here with Porto. In case I've received a script, in case I freeze for some reason, I'll just read the script. But if not, I'll just go on. Catarina Violante, I thought you had on your LinkedIn, Kate.
Yeah.
Is this what? Yeah, Kate? Okay, very good, Kate. So good. So what I'd like to start asking you is for, first of all, introducing yourself and then making a very short pitch about Smartex.
All right. So I guess most importantly, I was Nuno Moreno's first boss. I used to be a founder. I founded an IoT consumer electronics company back in 2012. And we did pretty well, but consumer electronics is very hard. I mean, there's probably a very big reason why Apple is so big, so important. It's actually very hard to do what they do. And yeah, so I'm a hardware person. I've always loved hardware, and I'm very fortunate to right now to have a couple of or have had a couple of teams of hardware development. But even though now I'm managing, I still get a chance to do something every once in a while or say a few things. So I'm a hardware person, previous founder, and now I'm in charge of hardware development and the supply chain at Smartex.
Okay, well, Smartex is a mixture of hardware and software, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
So we at Smartex are building modern tools for the textile industry. And we're very focused on artificial intelligence, machine vision, machine learning, and our most important focus is on environmental issues and also quality issues in the industry.
Okay, very good. So we'll get back to you in a moment. Now to Lisbon. I would like first of all to talk to Luís Martins. Luís, also, maybe a quick introduction of yourself and a quick pitch of KTR.
Yes, I will do that. Good afternoon to you all. This is the first time that I'm talking to the audience and not seeing you in real time. So this is a bit weird, but still bear with me. So I started working in the past century and was fortunate enough to see how the internet unfolded. Today, we are seeing something a bit similar with all the emerging technologies arising and converging. Since then, I always worked in the intersection of marketing and technology. Again, I created and founded a company. They weren't called startups at that time. Sold it, then had two others that didn't work out. And since 2014, I am working with immersive technologies, so with namely augmented reality. And I became a huge enthusiast of that, talk about that, write about that. And now I work also in that. Well, I am doing that since 2014, but now at KTR, which is a startup that aims at making human errors in production lines, in manufacturing production lines, irrelevant. So that's our main push. And yeah, really glad to be here and to discuss these topics with you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Luís. So, and now, of course, last but not least, Carla Rodrigues, something completely different. So, Carla, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Delta Ventures?
Yes, good afternoon. Hello to all. And first of all, thank you for having invited us to participate and be here today. Well, I'm a biologist who studied coffee, and so I'm a product of Delta, I can say that. And I worked for several years in innovation with product development. And since 2021, I'm part of the team Delta Ventures. We're very young. We are an early stage VC. We were presented publicly last year, and we had the first edition of our scouting program last year as well. We are 18 people working daily in the management of different business models of the different startups that are working with us.
Very good. So, but you said you started 1 year ago. So, how many investments has Delta Ventures done so far?
We were already working with three startups. One of them, maybe it's so well known. It's Fungi, which produces fresh oyster mushrooms from spent coffee grounds. We have Why Not Organic Soda as well. It was the first healthy organic soda. And we also have Maisoreca, which sells software and hardware and IT platforms for the Oreca channel. Yeah.
Very good, thank you so much. So back to Kate. Kate, you were a founder for, you mentioned Hard, and then you joined Smart. I met Gilberto some time ago, so I understand partially why you joined Smartex. But I would like to ask you nevertheless, what made you join this project?
There's many answers to that question, honestly. But yeah, after a well, let's say, because we have to say it, a failed startup experience, which in many ways was successful, but it was still a failure. I took some time for myself, and I guess Gilberto showed up at the moment that I was ready to go back at it. And honestly, I wasn't ready to go back to consumer electronics because it's so hard. One of the most valuable experience that I had with Smartex was actually having many training moments with someone who was very dear to me, which is Tony Fidel, founder of Nest and creator of the iPod. And I remember just last summer, we were together, and it was asking me, why did you not go back to consumer electronics? And I smiled and said, of course I wouldn't. And then we both laughed because it's so goddamn hard. And so I wanted to try B2B. And what I heard about B2B was that it was, you had a little bit more freedom, right? Consumer electronics is very A to Z, you need to do these things, otherwise you're out. And so that was one of the reasons that made me want to join, was try to B2B experience. And then, as you know, Gilberto is very persuasive, and I was actually the perfect fit for that first year of Smartex, because we had a prototype, we were trying to industrialize that prototype, and that was pretty much, I did in 1 year what I did the previous 5 years.
It helps me, like, based on the passion that you speak about consumer electronics, that you will be back to it one day.
No, still too hard. The answer is still no. But I'm loving it. It's freeing. It's quite amazing to work in the industrial environment, honestly.
Okay, very good. And there was a lot of, there was 2 investment rounds already, right? So if I understand correctly, Smartex has gone through its Series A already with 24.7 million. Do you know, was it, being Portuguese or being part of manufacturing a handicap in this for raising this money?
Honestly, I think that one of the most important things as Smartex was growing up was being part of the X community, which is a hardware accelerator for those who don't know. And obviously that brings you a certain pedigree. And also it made us start somewhere else. So in that sense, we didn't really start in Portugal, but we started in Shenzhen, China. On the first month that I was hired, I flew back to China, which was already a location that was very well known to me because I had spent a few years there already. And yeah, we kind of grew up in that community. So it was, I would say, probably easier to raise that first round. And honestly, as everybody knows, I would say that the first round is the hardest. Okay, maybe the first and the second. Series A is a pretty big deal, but it helped.
Very good, very good. All right, back to KTR and back to Luís. Luís, you were a CMO already. You were head of marketing or CMO. No, CMO is the role that you currently have. So you were head of marketing. You were a public speaker. So you also have a career. What made you join KTR at this point?
Well, they got me at human-centered factories. So I think that overall, we all are continuously being flooded with technology, surrounded by technology, and sometimes we are not even aware of how things work. More than that, we are not even aware of how we can interact as consumers, as fathers, as sons, daughters. So when having the possibility of enabling manufacturing workers to not feel the flood of continuous onboarding of new technological tools, but at the same time, allow them to feel, more than feel, to contribute directly in increasing the efficiency of production processes is for me, well, it was for me a huge benefit that I felt compelled to contribute. And yeah, and I'm really happy to be doing that, especially in very, let's say, unique markets like the automotive and aerospace.
I came last from Hanover, and of course the frontline workers and augmented reality is a big topic. We could see it almost everywhere. So there's a lot of competition, right? So how do you distinguish yourselves from the rest of the pack? How do you distinguish yourself, especially from large players that are in this space?
Yeah, so it starts there exactly because we don't cater directly to frontline workers. We cater to production line workers. And for the production line workers, the solution that we provide is not exactly augmented reality. So we do provide augmented reality in the sense that we provide instructions in a way that is not PowerPoint based like so many of our competitor solutions, but we on top of that also enable the worker with AI tools that allow him to check if everything that he did is compliant with what he should have done, and thus enabling him with a new level of safety in the results that he's providing. And on top of that, we also have our platform also enables the engineering area to feel closer to the shop floor and keep up with everything that is happening. So to actually track and trace back errors in a visual way, and at the same time also isolate and identify continuous improvement opportunities. So that's it. We feel a bit at odds in being identified as an augmented reality platform, because again, most of the times even those are connected with again frontline services or simulated environments, and we're not catering to any of them.
Okay, very well. So Carla, I read the ventures website. And one of the things, I'm not sure if you can hear me because there's a lot of noise here.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I see there was that you mentioned that you do investments in consumer sustainability and digital transformation. Is it all at the same time, or any of these ventures will be potential investments?
Well, we have the 3 startups. They cover all these 3 priorities, okay? The 3 ones we work already since 2019, more or less. And last year we had our scouting program, and the winners are, for example, Yoga and Creamery, which is a vegan alternative to dairy, okay? And then the 2 others, Schizo and PlusBlock. Schizo presents as a solution to deal with our waste, spent coffee grounds, and to produce a thread and for textile industry. So they are now working with us in pilot project. And also PlusBlock is developing with us a new solution to use the used capsules to develop new materials and new applications for these materials, which can be accessories or other type of materials. So you see, we are able to work in different fields. And so the investment is also in the 3 priorities of Delta Ventures, yes.
And what type of investors are you? Are you a long-term investor? Do you let the companies alone and working autonomously?
No.
Do you try to help? How do you help them?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yeah, it's really important. Yeah. So if the founders come to us and invite us to know their project, and they are looking for investors only, we will say we are not the right partner. Okay. So what we are looking for are these projects that are in early stage and that we can participate in day-to-day management and the day-to-day tasks of the business development of these startups. If the mindset is this one, then we usually say we are the best partner. Okay.
Okay, very good. And maybe similar question, but on the other side to Luís and to Kate, which type of investors do you prefer? The ones that try to help, or the ones that leave you alone and trying to do your job?
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, the helpful ones are really helpful. Yeah, we really like those. So we're super, so obviously having been a founder previously, it has been a learning experience to go through the stages of rounds of investment with yet another startup. And it's been quite amazing how much better Smartex it is than I used to be. Myself, we really use the knowledge that everyone, or try to use the knowledge of everyone that is around us. And to the point that I think most people must think that we're super annoying. We're investors, trying to ask questions, trying to see how they do things, how their other startups do things. And it's really been a big lesson, honestly, to me personally.
On our side, I think it has to be like a good mix. So helpful is always helpful, as Kate said, but at the same time, being extremely helpful also takes a lot of time. And at the same time, we need to, coordinate so many other things. So I think that it has to be like a good mix. And for instance, at KTR, it's really interesting in the sense that we have very different investors on board. So we have research and development entities like University College of London or SINTEF, which is the Norwegian laboratory where we spinned off of. but we also have venture capital like Armilar, for instance, or Caixa Capital Risc. And on top of it, we also have market brands, like, for instance, Sony Startup Acceleration Program or Boeing. So this to say that it's clearly a mix of different attitudes, different stakes, different interests, but at the end, I go back to what Kate said. So yeah, being helpful is very, very helpful, and sometimes that's just one nudge from an investor makes a very different, a huge difference in our results.
Very good. Kate, when I met Gilberto, he was actually in Turkey. You know, he decided to just simply go there and try to make a business in Turkey. You mentioned that you were in China because of the hardware. I've actually seen a recent post where he was in Bangladesh, I think. Yet with all this, global type of approach, Portuguese authorities still ask companies about their internationalization processes. Like everything needs to start in Portugal, and then from Portugal you go abroad. You go perhaps into Spain, perhaps into some other countries. And this is not the case anymore, right? So what do you think is, the way we should look at countries, particularly in your case, the textile industries, basically, I think you went wherever textile was and you went wherever hardware was made.
Yes, we went to the textile hubs, and our approach is we try to find the early adopters, the innovators, because there's always a customer that's going to be the most technological, and it's going to be the one that's sometimes they don't know, but they're going to be already looking for us. And what we try is to make their lives easier, go to them, and that's going to be our entryway to that market. So we go to them, we try to make a case study out of that customer, and they're basically inserted in a textile hub, as they call it, and then we just go from there, I guess.
Okay, very good. Maybe to Luís, I actually got to meet KTR the first time through a pitch at 200M, the co-investment fund, now part of Banco Português de Investimento. And at the time, it was Manuel Oliveira, right? Yep. And he was in London. So when was it London? And you were, I think the company was based out of Ilhavo in Nabeiro.
Still is.
And yeah, so what was the London approach? Was also to, behave a little bit more international? Were you trying to not be a Portuguese company? Are you shy at being a Portuguese company?
No, not at all. The issue is that from the very beginning, the company had an office in London, and afterwards kicked off also the presence here in Portugal, and grew the whole team here in a way that we had to create the company, and we had to push it forward also from here. So it's not a question of being shy, but as to your point, it has to do also a lot with being able to tap into different markets. We are right now working with a team that is not just in London and in Portugal. I have colleagues that are in Barcelona, that are in Eindhoven, and that are in Brazil, and I work with them every single day. So this to say that at the end, it really is all about finding a model that works, that fits the culture, and then trying to improve it every day. But I wouldn't say that there's like a one size fits all, and I guess that's also one of the issues of trying to create models around the internationalization, because again, I think that it depends a lot on the specific processes of each startup.
Okay, very good. And Carla, back to you. So do you invest only in Portuguese companies, or are you, or are you trying also to get projects from other countries? And how do you do your scouting? How do you actively try to find projects in your area?
Okay, so the startups that work with us are all Portuguese, okay? But the founders may not be Portuguese. For example, in the case of Namfungi, he's Belgian, Nathan is Belgian. And in the case of Why Not, we have Steffi and Niels, they are German, a German couple that just came to Portugal and they found this opportunity. There was a new category in beverages, healthy beverages, that was an opportunity for their project. The scouting program, okay, so it's called Disruption. You can check online. We will have an edition this year. Last year we had 124 applications and 70 were international. So along the selection process, we worked with different startups, not only national. We selected 10 of them. We had our directors discussing their projects until we got these 10. And we offered a bootcamp phase where they could work their business model with our directors, with external mentors. And we also offered activities that would help them deal with stress and invest in their wellness, because being a founder is very stressful. And we felt that. And after the bootcamp phase, these winners now are starting a pilot project with us for 6 months, supported by Delta, and we will see the results. If they are good to solve the solutions of Grupo Nabeiro, then we evaluate the companies and we decide if we invest. That's
very
how
good.
it works.
Thank you so much. So one of the things that's very close to my heart in this type of startups and even scale-ups is that, and please correct me if I'm wrong or tell me if you agree with me, that most Portuguese companies, especially startup companies, are very good technically. They have a lot of good solutions. They have no clue how to sell. Does it resonate? Does it make a sense maybe to any of you? And if yes, what can we do about it?
That's a tough question. But yeah, I heard that.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I guess so. You're doing a great job, by the way. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. We're very good technically, even we're technical extroverts. We like to talk about the technical part of things, but then everything else is left behind. I mean, what I know, I can tell you about what we do. We try to learn from the best. We try to look outside. We try to see how other people are doing things. But does this mean that we're a closed up market? That we are introverts after all? I'm not sure, actually.
But I've seen it as part of pitches for next round of investments all the time. That significant portion is okay. Now we have the great tech, and now we're gonna bring some sales guys on board to try to sell the stuff that we're making, right?
Yeah, it seems like it never starts the other way around, right? I don't know. Maybe that's a challenge for. I don't know what's going on in business schools of Portugal and whatnot, but it tends to be the technical schools that create the Portuguese entrepreneurs. So yeah, I can say so myself, and I can say so for Smartex. And for most people and entrepreneurs that I know, that's the case. But I guess you'll need to ask the business schools and the marketing schools and what's been going on. But it seems like they're not in the tech scene so much as the technical people, like the engineers, even the designers.
Very good, Luís, Carla.
I can pitch in. Well, to start, I'd like to share that selling is hard. So it really is hard.
Okay.
So in any form and shape. Then on top of that, selling something that is new is also hard. And that's why I think that the problem most of the times is not specifically, I think, with Portuguese startups, but overall with startups as a whole. We were just part, in the past quarter, we are part of Boeing's aerospace accelerator. This sounded weird, but it was Boeing's accelerator. And we were with 10 other startups. And we had an array of courses, of training, and we realized that on the training part, on the sales part, we weren't so behind. Actually, we were ahead of several concepts. So what I feel is that at the end, most of the times for us to get results, we need to, well, first of all, find the good method or a method to efficiently sell. And that's always hard because it depends on the product that we have. It depends on with the several stages. It depends also on the market where we are selling to. Aerospace and to automotive, in our case, is completely different from selling to, well, for retail or for the tourism industry. So that's why I think it's most of the times a process that the startup needs to take from the ground up. And also now plugging into my work, I also believe that it has a lot to do with the marketing approach. So you cannot sell something that is not prepared to be sold. You cannot sell something that is not validated by a market. You cannot sell something that is not structured enough for it to be considered as something valuable by the buyer itself. So that needs to be in place, and that cannot be done by a sales guy.
Very good. Carla, do you feel the same, or how do you help your invested companies to do the selling part? Or because
well,
we're
yes,
in an early stage?
We feel the same, and that's why we have a sales manager in Delta Ventures with its own team in the field to do the work of sales to startups. Yes. Of course, we have also team members from marketing, from R&D, and from project management, but we have these 10 people that are only dedicated to sales. We know that we can give that to the startups, yes, that bring good ideas to solve the challenges of Grupo Nabeiro.
Very good. And a follow-up question, I mean, just before that, if I'm out of time and I should go into the Q&A, please let me know, okay? Because otherwise I'll keep going and I'm hungry, so I can just, continue to go. So something which is related is a little bit the focus or unfocus, especially when it comes to the markets. Something that, at least for me, and here I am already responding to my own questions, but, something that was almost counterintuitive is that our company started growing when we focus on less verticals, on more specific verticals and not the other way around. Is this something which is also difficult to do in some of these investments? Because we typically think that we're very smart people, our engineers are very smart and they believe that technology that we're producing can serve so many different verticals. So why, narrowing it down in a few? And sometimes it's counterintuitive. Do you feel the same? Maybe to you, I don't know, because textile is, I'm not sure if there's many different sub-levels of textile, I suppose. I know nothing about textile. You can say whatever you want.
Might know just a little bit more. We have a technology as a few solutions that would be potentially suitable for all or something close to all roll-to-roll industries. And honestly, it takes some discipline to just stay in the textile industry and not moving to all the others and doing everything at once. But we found out that the way that we can provide the most value to our customer, and this would be the textile industrial, is to complement our tools with more tools and make sure that by complementing each other, we give a solution to the customer that is actually the solution that they need, right? So that's what we try to do, and that's why we see ourselves as a company that builds solutions for a very traditional industry, which is the textile industry. It's very traditional. It's many times we get to our customers and they don't even have an internet connection. Sometimes not even at their office. So it's tricky, and that's the reason why it is so important to just go and build everything else that they need, and instead of moving to another role to industry.
Very good. So, Luís, to you, I mean, your technology can be potentially applicable to a lot of industries. So how do you focus? How do you narrow down the industries that you go after?
Yeah, again, I'm going again to plug into the marketing part. It's all about finding the correct value to sell. So we are not selling augmented reality. We are not selling artificial intelligence. What we're selling is the ability for production lines to be 20% more effective. What we're selling is the ability for a production line to have the possibility of doing line balancing when before it couldn't. So I think it has to do a lot with finding those benefits for our target audience, and then we need to then discover the personas, and then we need to approach them and validate that value. So all of that takes time for each market. So trying to take it all at once, it really is hard. So I believe that the best way to validate our hypothesis and to build the value that then afterwards the customer is going to buy is by doing like a targeted approach, and then starting up from there, trying to build up and onto more and more markets. But I do agree that our solution can be applied to, well, fairly every market.
Very good. So maybe to Carla, something different, which is because of the sustainability side and the environmental sustainability, among others, is it one of the things that gives purpose to some of these projects? And do you think it is easy with such a purpose to get the right people engaged into some of these activities, particularly when we are, and this question will also go to all of you, especially on the IT side, in a very big war for talent. You know, is this purpose something that helps bridge this gap? Is this something which you feel is important?
Yes, definitely. So the purpose and a good story to tell, it's very important to engage everyone, not only in Delta, but other companies and our clients. For example, in the case of NAM, we have been contacted by important clients of Delta. They want to participate because they know the story. So they want to be a part of the circular economy project that is NAM. And if they have spent coffee grounds, they want to give the spent coffee grounds to NAM, and they want to use the mushrooms in their products or in our eco channel. So you see, it's really important, the story, to create this engagement. And of course, for collaborators in Delta, it's also important to be proud and tell this story outside. And so it's mandatory that you tell a good story. And we say it because we sell brands, so Delta sells brands, and we know it's very important.
Very good. Kate, Smartex is a similar story, right? Because of the pollution and the water waste and so on. Does it help, recruit and retain people with the right mindset?
Yeah, absolutely. So don't get me wrong. If it wasn't for money, probably most industrials wouldn't invest in solutions like the Smartex.ai solutions. But probably also something very important is that most of you probably don't know the power that the brands that you wear have in the beginning of the supply chain. So we are talking about knitted fabrics. We are talking about dyeing fabrics with the final colors. We're talking about in very beginning of the supply chain, adding solutions there, adding technologies there that are important for you, the end consumer. So what I'm trying to say is that many times the brands like H&M, one of our investors, they are the ones who try to push new technologies in the beginning of the supply chain. So you do have the power because you're sending a message to H&M that you want to dress organic or that you want to dress fair trade. And they are the ones that are going to use their influence, their power to push innovation in the beginning of the supply chain. So that's been a great advantage for Smartex, is to have the retailers saying our consumers want this and you are the solution.
Very good. So of course the question was more on the tech talent, but I understand where you're coming from. So maybe to Luís, how easy is it to recruit for you these days and to retain your talent, particularly in the software area? What kind of influence does something like a purpose have on this ability to do that?
Well, the pain is real to all of us. We do need to hire good talent. Finding it is hard. Recruiting it is even harder. And that's why we really need to create a culture that is nurturing enough for people to feel connected, and at the same time, try and build something that goes beyond just being a job provider. So something that can actually connect people with a social purpose, as we talked, but more than that, that can create an identity that goes across the people, and that everyone knows that they can trust everyone else believes in. So again, yeah, culture creates that opportunity for us to keep the team growing steadily, and for the skills also to not go elsewhere. But at the same time, it really is hard to try and find the people, because again, sometimes it does not have to do with the technical skills. It does not have to do with the soft skills. It has to do with again, the beliefs, the value sets, and the fit that they do into the organization. So yeah, that for a startup, it's even more important, I think.
Very good, thank you. So I've received the magic signal, which means that we're now open for Q&A, for questions from the audience, both from Porto or Lisbon. So the floor is open for Q&A. Not sure how to do this microphone-wise so that everyone can hear. If not, I can ask the questions and have the answers for you as well. Is there a question from Lisbon?
I'm trying. Who's going? We have a question from our executive director.
Hello, thank you for your participation. Great conversation. I'd like to ask you, what are the main challenges when relating to industrial corporates, and how do you overcome them? How do you find them different from other types of clients and customers? Thank you.
I can start with that one. We work in two markets that are not known by their speed. And feedback, of course, is made much more difficult when you have several levels of decision. Now, when we're talking about international corporations, that adds an even harder level, which is the fact that you have several substructures inside the corporation that might be competing between themselves. So trying to map out all of that and trying to grasp all the stakeholders that might be inside the project that you're bringing in and the change that you're proposing is in itself a chore that is hard to do, but needs to be done. So I would say that's the biggest challenge that we find.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's keep this one. Any more questions?
Francisco, I have one question from our online audience. So, do you think
Please.
there's the need for more acceleration programs or other similar support programs for the industry sector in Portugal?
Yes. During my professional life, I've been through 3 to 4, depends on how you count it, acceleration programs. And I'd say they're super useful. And the more access you have to mentorship and obviously that small pocket of money that you get in the very beginning, it's super important for the founders to just quit doing whatever they're doing and just focus on what they need to build. I really believe that it's an essential part of how you begin, how you start, how you kick it off. And I wish there were more acceleration programs in Portugal, and most importantly, more acceleration programs focused in specific industries. And for instance, I've been in an accelerator focused in hardware tech. So there's that, others for business development, this and that. And yeah, I guess it's never enough. I would like to see the ecosystem reach a point where the founders can actually, pick and choose where am I going to go? Which one is the accelerator that makes more sense for my startup or the company I'm trying to build?
Very good. So I think we have time for one last question. Maybe here. Andre.
Following up from those questions, and now that you have experience, both of you, with investors, how do you balance the time that it takes to sell, so the sales cycle, with the wish that investor always wants, which is short sales cycles and scalability? So how you explain to them how you balance those two complete different worlds?
What are short sales cycles? Yeah, it's an industry with, I would say, always huge sales cycles. It's complicated, and obviously investors don't like it. But if it's the right investors, they're going to understand the industry, and actually that's a good way probably to take out the good ones and from the bad ones, is if they do understand how huge the cycles could be in this industry. It's quite a shame, but it is what it is.
Okay, Francisco, we have one last question here from Lisbon. So
very good. Please go ahead.
My question is for Carla. So some years ago, basically a PowerPoint got funding. Nowadays, we see more and more investors asking for proof of concept, for track records. So I guess my question is, right now, what do you look for in a startup when you are picking the ones that you're going to invest in?
Okay, they present a good solution for the challenges we have, and we need to deal with our waste and the waste from coffee consumption, of course. And the solutions that come to us, they have to be scalable. If we cannot see that, it's not a project for us.
Very good. So I'd like to thank everyone here in Porto and Lisbon. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I've enjoyed very much being the moderator. Not sure if they're going to do it again, but it was really a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you all. Thank you so much.
thank you very much, Francisco. Thank you very much, Catarina. Hopefully next time we're at the same room. Thank you very much, Luís and Carla. So if you're an early stage startup which does business in some way connected with Grupo Nabeiro, maybe you should apply and send an email to deltaventures.gruponabeiro.com. You should apply for disruption. I don't know the deadline for that, but it's probably very clear on your website. I also like to add a very little curiosity that Mr. Luís Bravo Martins is also an author. So if you'd like to learn more about the metaverse, he has a book already published by Willy, which is kind of a big thing. And just so everyone came here to learn a little bit. Now we're going for the fun part, a little bit of network. If you are in Porto, I'm sure you're in very good hands with my colleagues Rita and Francisco. Here in Lisbon, we are a little bit more lucky than you. We'll have a little session, a sunset party with our good friends from Universal. They are fundraising and they want to celebrate with us. So yeah, guys, maybe next time you can also have a sunset here at Ferroviário. For everyone here, we have the amazing people from Portugal Ventures. It's the four of them over here, very, very nice looking people, very good investors. So feel free to approach them. They are people, don't jump on them, okay? So thank you very much. See you next time. Like you know, every last Wednesday of the month, we gather here and at Easy at Selena, and I hope to see you more often. Thank you very much.